Today I'm going to talk about how to bring more feeling and more life into your paintings. So I have 3 strategies I'm going to share with you. Let's get into it. Do you ever look at your paintings and you feel like something is just missing? Like fundamentally, my painting is sound. The values are right, the colors are good, the subject is interesting, but there just seems to be something missing in my paintings. Well, you might consider adding a sign of life to your paintings. So if you're painting a landscape scene, maybe add in some birds, some sheep, some cows, some horses, something that brings more life into your paintings. Now, if you're painting a city scene or a street scene or a neighborhood scene, some of the subjects I'm really attracted to, adding in a figure can really take your painting to the next level. And I think part of the reason is because we like to interject ourselves into artwork. We like to relate to paintings. And there's no better way to relate to paintings than to see a figure in a scene. You can more easily imagine yourself in this scene if you can see some figures. Another thing that adding a figure does is that it creates a narrative in our painting. And we want to know what that figure is up to. What is the story of the scene? And so by creating this narrative, it's a way that we can add more feeling and interest into our painting. Now you might say, I'm not really good at painting figures, and figures do take some practice. So do animals. Animals have to be right or they just will not work. And so if this is something that you want to work on, take some time to practice these things. I created a video about painting figures that you can take a look at that will give you the basic fundamentals, the right proportions to make your figure seem more believable and fit them into your scene. So you can take a look at that video if you haven't seen that one yet. But becoming more comfortable with painting figures and incorporating them into your scenes can bring more of a sense of life, more of a sense of feeling to what might seem like an ordinary, mundane subject matter. Tip number 2 is focus on atmosphere. Focus on capturing the time of day in your scene. Think about weather conditions in your scene. Is the light bright and strong, or is it more soft and subtle? Joseph Zbukvich has a whole book on his painting technique and creating atmosphere and mood in your paintings, because creating atmosphere is a main ingredient to evoking more feeling into your paintings. By portraying these different types of atmospheres, we are inviting the viewer to reflect on experiences that they've had. We know what it feels like to sit in the bright sun. You can feel the warmth on your skin. You know the sense of atmosphere that you get from a foggy morning scene, or any one of these situations can evoke different feelings within different people. So spending time working on recognizing the atmosphere and learning how to convey the atmosphere and create it in your scenes can take your paintings to another level. Tip number 3 is leave some mystery in your painting. Don't feel like you need to spell out everything in your scene. I've talked about in the past how it's important to abstract the edges of your scene. That's one way of keeping your viewer's attention where you want it to be. The areas where you add more detail, that's where your viewer's going to focus on. So leaving a little bit of mystery. Don't be too exact. Show some of the character of your brushwork within your painting. This is another way that we can add more feeling, add more emotion, and more life into our scenes. When we can leave a little bit of mystery, when there's some things to think about, when you're portraying reality but just slightly different or a more expressive view of reality, this is going to allow the viewer to enter in and interact with your art. And that creates more feeling, more life, more connection with the viewer of your painting. So let's recap these 3 tips really quick to add more life and more feeling into your paintings. 1, add figures. Add figures or some sign of life, whether it be an animal or a person. Number 2, focus on atmosphere. Really think about the time of day, what the light is doing, what the weather is doing, and how you can capture the atmosphere of the scene. And number 3, leave a little bit of mystery. Don't be afraid to abstract parts of your paintings, and don't feel like you have to spell out everything for your viewers. Create something that's engaging and interesting that causes your viewer to think a little bit. And of course, all this is wrapped into personal style and subject matter and the choices that you make as an artist. The more you paint, you're going to determine your own style of painting and your subject matter, how you portray atmosphere, the way that figures look in your painting. All of these are decisions you will make as you grow as an artist. And before you go, I wanted to mention, if you haven't checked out my free video lesson, How to Avoid Overworking Your Painting, take a look at it. You can follow the link below. You can get to it in my bio and Instagram. So I've gotten some really good feedback from this lesson, and this is a video lesson that helps address something that I had to work through quite a bit when I was learning how to paint watercolor. I talk through 8 different tips to help you avoid overworking your painting. You can follow the link below, take a look at it, and I hope it can help you out as well. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Is there one of these 3 things that you feel like you've been missing? Is there one of them that you're stronger at, one of them that you feel like you could develop and work on more? Thank you for spending some time with me here today. Keep working on your art, keep moving forward, and I'll see you next time.